Thank you, Mark. Fantastic, everyone. Great to be here today. Hamid sends his apologies, but I will take us forward today for the engineered timber update. And I'm coming to you from Darramurra country today, up in the Ku-ring-gai lands. So Working Group 5, engineered timber, our purpose from the outset has really sort of focused around how to improve the adoption of engineered timber in low to mid-rise buildings in the industry. And I think very similar to building services, this group is a more recently formed group. Might have come out of the other materials I think Kathy mentioned, but in December last year there was a series of barriers as a first sort of cut put together by the attendees in the group at that time. I joined in January, and since that time we've had a series of industry presentations on a couple of topics to date, with more to come. But our approach in strategy really is a two-pronged approach with a focus on identifying of the key barriers. What are those perceptions and barriers limiting the more widespread use of timber in the industry, but not forgetting the purpose of why we are here with MECLA, and that is also to identify and gather data via industry bodies and leaders in assessing the embodied carbon metrics, particularly around the process with engineered timber from harvest all the way through to erection of built form. Our key objectives at the moment, focusing on 2 to 3 items really: to research these areas, report on and seek advocacy with the aim to influence real tangible outcomes in standards and industry services within a 12-month period. Look, it may or may not reach 3 items. At the moment, the subgroups we have formed just quite recently, we've only had a single catch up in subgroups as of May. We're entering our second rolling month for June, and those groups at the moment consist of insurance and regulatory backgrounds. We have a diverse group and a large group under supply chain, and another area is financial, cost, and logistics. Next slide. The membership for our group here is quite diverse. We do have quite a number of suppliers, and they are the dominant numbers in the group. Manufacturers, designers, consultants, engineers, builders. We have academics, we have developers such as myself, we have advocacy groups and other related associations. And our attendance, similar to others, while we have a total group member list of around 60 to 65 members, we do have a rolling 15 to 20 odd people per month, and it can vary based on people's availability. The objectives of the group are to identify the barriers, like elsewhere, the needs, and educate the team and the industry on how to approach product use, i.e. timber. And the timeline for these objectives that we've set ourselves at the moment is a 9 to 12 month period, with a staggered outcome, hopefully, of providing some information back to the MECLA database. The progress thus far, being in the early stages of strategy, it's really been around research within each of the subgroups, and there is quite a focused approach within the subgroups, almost to a siloed effect in a way, and we need to sort of break that down across our group in our monthly catch-ups. We've had 2 presentations to date from industry-wide experts, one on a single case study of engineered mass timber building out at Bella Vista, and also an update to the NCC around fire, which was completed some years back, but it's great background information to sort of take on board here and move forward with. And we are looking to bring in another speaker next month to fulfill one of our other subgroup areas, and that is insurance. Our main barriers to unlock here, as touched on earlier, are insurance and the perceptions around that, fire, and cost. And in doing this, we really do need to rely on our industry colleagues and the data that we can extract. And I know that the data sometimes is always hard to get real actual data, but we will see what we can come up with and tap on our network and our resources and try and come back to Jeremy's group with some information to help sort of provide more substance to the guideline database. Our engagement is really with contractors in the industry and timber associations, mainly around costs and insurance. And then the next step is really towards standards and improving those standards. Our outputs to date have been minimal. We've been doing a lot of sort of internal soul searching, research, education, formulating a strategy for the group, but we do intend on putting together an upcoming myth busting session for the next few months. And I feel ultimately the group's best position with timber really is to break down some of the metrics around carbon, have a look at EPDs in absolute detail, and feed it back into the guideline database under working group 3 and 4. And that's really where we are on timber. I'll hand you now over to working group 6 residential with Carla and Julia.